Hi Squidward, ready for another great day, friend?
What?
And there's voice acting. Okay, this is going to be the thing I promised / threatened to do.
No.
Let's do this. Y'all want to check out the development of a game from alpha to final? I hope you do, because that's what we're going to do. This is SpongeBob SuperSponge. So, we're starting off May 2nd, 2001.
Okay.
This game just entered alpha. I assume they fully scoped it. They did all the pre-development work, and they just started to put together a game using what limited resources they had. This was Climax Group in the UK. Unfortunately, there's something like 5 or 6 different companies named Climax, so good luck telling them apart. But whoever was at Climax at the time did a great job of saving tons and tons of development builds of games. This time I'm only going to show you 5 of these builds, but there's at least 30 builds of SpongeBob over the entire course of development, which is amazing. There's also other Climax-developed games like Supercross and Saban's Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, which have multiple legal screen.
This kicks ass!
Which have multiple beta builds available. So yeah, this is the earliest you're going to get for this game. It just loads you right into a chapter.
I love this.
No title screen, no nothing. And this is what it looks like.
Oh, this kicks ass! Look at him!
Look at that SpongeBob.
Oh!
Oh, you can hit triangle to do whatever that is.
I think that shows the level geometry.
Yeah.
That's so cool!
Oh, Squidward's tiny.
Squidward looks like shit. I love him. Yes. Yeah, JP Ronnie asked if this is plug and play.
It looks a lot like a plug-and-play game, doesn't it?
So early, though. I can't blame them.
So it looks like 2D graphics mixed with... No, wait, he's a 3D model, isn't he? Yeah, the level geometry is definitely 3D, and I think the characters are, but it's hard to tell at this point. Everything is very crude looking.
They should just kept like this.
They should have. I love this. He has this thing. It doesn't even look like he's doing anything. Yeah.
Wow, you're dead.
Now look at that life meter.
Are you dead or alive?
I think I'm dead. Okay, yeah, he was dead. You can skip ahead with the R trigger here. Luckily, this is a constant in all the betas. You just push R2 to skip forward a level. Look at the background here.
Oh my god. Let's see. Electric Boogaloo lets us know Climax Group UK also made Sudeki for Xbox, Silent Hill Shattered Memories on Wii, and the PS1 port of San Francisco.
Wow. Yeah, they did a lot of porting jobs back then. This was one of the few original games they had. Yeah, in 2001, they just let him go. They got a contract from THQ who said, make us a SpongeBob game.
Make my video!
Make my video. It doesn't look like there's anything to do in this level.
I like the way you die, I'm sorry.
It's good.
Uzi mentions that they completely remade this without any of the 3D for the GBA.
Oh, really?
And
This does look like a GBA game, come to think of it.
Also, everyone's kind of, multiple people are mad that you have fall damage because you're a fucking sponge.
Yeah, I'm a sponge in an undersea area. There should not be fall damage. I do like, what I've decided is when you push triangle, it shows the collision data for ground. I think that's what it is. That's pretty cool. Tells you what you can walk on and what you can't.
This is interesting.
But otherwise, this is very early and unoptimized. The frame rate is shit. The graphics are, well...
I get it.
So let's move a month ahead. That was May 2001. This is June 1st, 2001.
Sweet.
What can you do in a month to a SpongeBob game? Let's find out. Oh, to be a fly on the wall. What are we going to do with SpongeBob today? I don't know. Sharpen up the graphics. That's how developers talk.
Yeah,
right?
they're like, listen, we gotta tighten up the graphics on level 1. They're all sitting around on a giant couch doing nothing. They get to go home at an early hour, see their family. That's what the game dev life is like. It's real nice.
Lucky bastards. And once again, it starts right up into gameplay, so they haven't yet done the front end. Alright, this is looking a little better.
Oh, he looks so much better now! Wow!
Still a little strange. Yeah, Squidward is his proper size, at least.
I like tiny Squidward. Oh, you've got a hand now.
And X is jump instead of triangle.
Oh, thank you.
I think it was square, actually. Yeah, this controls like a real game. There's not a bunch of dead space at the beginning of the level. There's an actual end here.
Hi Squidward, ready for another great day, friend?
What?
And there's voice acting.
Today's Sunday, SpongeBob. Forget the Krusty Krab. Hey, moron, why don't you go take your net and get away somebody else's time?
They got the original actors, can you believe it? Squidward and SpongeBob just having a chat.
Who is she? Who are they? I don't know. Who are you? I love this
Now,
dub.
I
I
looked
love
up-
this dub.
I looked up the development of this game, and I think that was the producer. I forgot her name already, but if anyone wants to look it up on Moby Games, I'm pretty sure the producer is the one who did the voice acting for this.
This kicks ass.
But otherwise, it's much more polished. It runs at a better frame rate. You can actually use attacks and things, which is nice, though you still get hurt a lot. Let's kill off. Oh!
Oh, he dies better now.
He dies violently. Skip to the next level. I want to see some more of that voice acting.
Voice acting kicks ass.
SpongeBob, you silly old sponge, try using your helmet.
Good old Sandy.
Sandy and her
just like I
famous
remember
accent.
her famous British accent. Now, I don't know whether that's common with betas, but I'm really glad they took the time to add in placeholder voices for this.
Me too.
It is super good. Oh, there's a branch here now, so you can actually progress through the level. Apparently you soak up water or something? I'm gonna have to play the final version of this sometime. Otherwise, it's coming along. Let's see one more level. Yeah, that's what an entire month can do. You can turn a complete turd into something that's actually halfway playable. I want more people to talk to.
Too.
SpongeBob, you silly sponge.
Oi, mate.
I'm Sandy! There ain't no one here.
Yeehaw. I think someone already did that in chat, but...
That's so good.
Alright, the climax producer working on this was Trina Seymour, so...
That's her. Yeah, in all likelihood, it was probably her. Oh, there's no more voice acting. It's just for the first couple levels.
Oh,
I'd
man.
have loved to hear her take on Mr. Krabs. But here, there's actual costumes. You can put on the glasses. You can make SpongeBob look different. SpongeBob.
Okay, I like the idea of a swamp version of SpongeBob.
Called SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's just about a nasty old, like, piece of, nasty old shit you find in a bog or a swamp or a bayou.
That was June 2001. Let's skip forward to July 2nd, 2001. So, a couple of months after that initial alpha, let's see just how much they've added to this game. Now, there's very few games you can do this with. This is a very rare opportunity for us that I'm super glad to be able to do. Most betas, they're like a one-and-done thing. You're lucky to find any pre-production material for a game, much less 30 different builds.
Mm-hmm.
This is a blessing. There's a few other Sega games like that from the Genesis era. I know there was multiple builds of Doom for 32X that let you trace its development, but all too often there's just one beta or no betas.
THQ.
Got an actual company logo. That's clearly important.
THQ. It's in the license.
And check it out, we got FMV. SpongeBob SquarePants. They had to fix that. There's supposed to be no space between Sponge and Bob, and yet it's there now. It's just little details that you have to pass along to licensing, and they're like, oh no, SpongeBob is one word. You gotta fix that.
What's with this Bayou music? This is Zydeco!
I don't know. You would think that they would start with the SpongeBob theme song, but I guess they wanted to do something different here.
Or SpongeBob.
Yeah, this is SpongeBob music. Okay, this is looking like a real video game now. Start things up. Oh, you got a menu, you got some fancy bouncy text.
This is just in a month. Jesus, these people worked hard.
Yeah. I really wonder what the development schedule was like for this game, and specifically, I wonder if there was crunch involved.
There has to be.
Because I cannot think of anything sadder than crunching on this game. And yet it so happens with the worst games, like...
Today, we will be following my favorite creature, SpongeBob SquarePants, on his adventures around Bikini Bottom.
Mixed kind of bad difference there.
Today,
This looks much better.
There's an intro cutscene. Yeah, it looks like the
Gary,
character
I just had a great
completely
idea about what to...
Oh,
It's my best friend Patrick's birthday, and a signed photo of
sounds
his
like the
favorite
final
superhero. Like a calculator, you can count on it.
Tom Kenny's good, but I prefer the Climax producer's take.
Yeah, I prefer Trina.
Trina, you're a hero. You don't even know.
The Ultimo says that crunch on licensed properties, from their experience in QA, is usually the worst. Absolutely the hardest.
That sucks.
That does suck.
I was gonna say, yeah, as we know, even the worst games are the product of crunch. Stuff like Golden Axe Beast Rider, it was revealed that there was horrible crunch during that. Blues Brothers 2000, which we played a few weeks ago, that was also the product of crunch, and that is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I think the saddest is the crunch on Tattoo Assassin.
Yes.
Great day together, friend.
Oh, so bad.
Today's Sunday, SpongeBob. Forget the Krusty Krab. Hey, moron, why
Alright,
don't
so
you
a
take your
few
net
months
and
out
go-
from release, now it's time to add the voices, polishing things up. The frame rate's consistent. This looks like a real video game that you would sell in the store. Still some polishing to do, and there's still all the debug stuff left in for this build.
Yeah,
This is supposed to be a checkpoint, and that's not in the final version.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Whoa. We've talked about the development of Tattoo Assassins a few times on stream, but as Loveless mentions, Tattoo Assassins, it was never released, but it was a game where, according to one of the dev diaries, like, their hands never left the keyboard, and at one point they would just type, go over to the trash can and puke, and just keep on typing.
Oh, they wouldn't go anywhere. They would lean over
sorry.
to the trash can at their desk while their hands were still on the keyboard.
And for an unreleased game, and it's so awful that people would have to put their bodies through this, not just for Tattoo Assassin, but for a game they don't even get credit on because it's never out, you know?
Yeah, these betas, they only tell half the story. All the development woes and things you can't really tell, though sometimes it's hinted at.
SpongeBob, you silly old sponge. Try using your helmet.
Sandy, you sound different.
Wrong accent, guys.
She's obviously British. This part's looking better. Frame rate's chugging a little bit, and the background's a little bit simple, but otherwise, it's really coming together. And as you play these builds back to back, you can see the individual elements that get polished and improved for each release.
Okay, BMF talking about the dev history of Sonic Extreme. The Sonic Extreme devs also had that issue, and they slept under their desks.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Sleeping at the office, showering at the office, companies offering to do your laundry because you're not even going to be able to have enough time to do that.
Alright, we got a subscription from Mr. Rock. Thank you so much.
Nice, thank you. Okay, so this game's looking pretty good. Let's see, this is 8101. Now, this game was eventually released in 2001, so the release date's coming up pretty quick, so they'd have to start polishing things at this point. What you got for me, SpongeBob? SpangBob? SpongeBong?
Bob Sponge.
Bob Pants.
Alright, do you know about the... Just real quick, Danny, do you know where that Tattoo Assassins article was? Where it talked about...
That was Dan Amrich, who did that on his old blog. If you look for Dan Amrich, he's an old GamePro editor who used to work at Data East for a time.
THQ.
He's got that whole story.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, and most of these stories are coming firsthand from interviews and stuff from people who worked on these games, because a lot of them have talked about it.
Especially recently, it's become kind of a hot topic. So we have more company logos here. We have the fixed SpongeBob, see, it's just one word now. And otherwise, I think this FMV is pretty much the same, so we're just gonna skip it. Still, it's coming together. Yeah, there's the Tattoo Assassins page. So in just a few months, we've gone from a game that just drops you into the middle of a level that looks like a piece of shit to a game with menus, FMVs, cutscenes, voice acting, level design, all that stuff just added over the course of a couple months. And look at SpongeBob now. He's looking a little bit better.
Does look better.
Yeah, even a few months before release, there's still time to tweak the graphics and make things look more polished. The mixing's better. The music's lower this time.
Better.
Meow.
You know where the Blues Brothers 2000 stuff was?
That was an old article in EGM that was attributed to an anonymous source. It's called The Making of a Bad Game, or How to Make a Bad Game, or something like that. They never specifically said it was Blues Brothers 2000, but if you read between the lines, it's very obviously that. They talk about the publisher being lured in by a completely worthless license, and then the director leaving the project because of a failed marriage halfway through, so the whole thing pretty much fell apart. And yet it was still released. Okay, well, aside from the debug information,
Hi, Squidward.
this is looking real good.
Hey, I can use this net to catch jellyfish and throw them at those annoying critters.
You can actually catch the jellyfish now. The net is functional. Beeping's a little bit annoying. That's something to work on. Oh, the checkpoints work. Lights up. What you think, Alex?
I was just trying to look up articles, but I guess I'm gonna move on this and stuff. And no, this is... I'm amazed at how much this has moved. I have been working on a Twine game for 3 years, and it looks nothing. Nothing! It looks... nothing has changed.
If you look at the staff, it's only between 20 and 30 people. I think it's just a couple dozen people working on this, and they managed to do all this in just a few months. Looks like the level end still doesn't work, but you can still skip levels, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see what this tree level looks like.
SpongeBob, you silly old sponge. Try using your helmet.
Again, I miss the old.
Me too. I like the brave new direction they took Sandy.
Me too, too.
Oh, look at this. He's got leaning animations, falling animations. These tubs of water are bigger and more obvious, I guess. Oh, the spring is now animated to draw attention to it.
Bobinator says this is better than Bubsy. Kind of agree.
You know, this is a mascot platformer. Let's see one more level before we move on to the final build. Fish hooks, dark.
That should be in like parentheticals or something. Fish hooks, dark.
Yeah, dark and edgy. Otherwise, this is looking pretty much ready to go, aside from the debug information and those annoying sound effects. Maybe gotta tone those down. But we got voices, graphics, gameplay, music even. All the elements are here for a great SpongeBob game. I'm just assuming
sponges, you got bobs.
Alright, we're making good time here. Let's move on to the final build.
Okay.
This is like right before shipping release. I think this is the Gold Master. This is either close to final, or it could be just identical to the retail. You shipped up this sponge, you shaped him up, you whipped him into shape, you set him on the right path, and it's up to your boy to perform at retail. And I believe this game got a greatest hits release, so it was fairly successful. It's one of the more popular SpongeBob games. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
It's got a spinny. New logos. Yeah, this is looking pretty polished at this point.
It's good.
Miss you, THQ. Not really.
Frappe Fiasco, yes, this game did come out.
Mm-hmm.
They even made a Game Boy Color version of this.
Wow, this game got around then. But I'd assume by just how early this was, maybe this was lead platform? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, we got a
Trailer?
Oh, for the movie! Okay, this would have been around the time.
No, it wasn't. It was Rugrats,
no.
baby.
Oh no, it's Rugrats!
No, keep it on. I want to see if he's cut.
Rugrats
You know how I feel
in
about
Paris.
Rugrats trailers. You know exactly how I feel about
Rugrats
Rugrats
going
trailers.
to Paris.
It is so loud. I had to. Oh
Will
God.
never be the same. Rugrats in Paris, the movie.
You're just as dumb over sneeze as
we don't have to watch this. We don't have to watch this.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is just how far development had progressed at this point. Put in the Rugrats trailer. We're ready to ship this baby. Let's go ahead and see if gameplay stacks up. Yeah, in this build and the previous build, there is now a file select screen. There's actual saving, progress, being able to progress. That's pretty important. It's all here. And now it has a fancy loading icon. You know, I think the loading icon runs at 60 frames per second and nothing else in the game does. Okay, this is a familiar scene by this point, but SpongeBob's
Gary,
no longer
I just had a-
horrifying looking.
Oh, no. Not...
They're so much louder, too, and you can barely hear the music.
What?
Say meow. There you go. New loading screens.
Wait, there was a Dido song in Rugrats Paris?
Really? Thank You was written about Chucky.
I'm gonna die. I'm sorry. That is quite possibly the funniest thing you could have ever told me in my life. Okay.
Oh, look at this frame rate. It's so much better. Yeah, it still chugs a little bit, but
Hi.
it's much closer to a solid 30 than it was before.
Hey, I can use this net to catch jellyfish and throw them at those annoying critters.
And SpongeBob now has tutorial voice along with tutorial pop-ups. Look at that.
Cool.
You can see what everything does now. Catch one of those. Yeah, yeah. Mechanics are working. I'd still fix the bleeping. That's still kind of annoying. Oh, the checkpoint has text that pops up, and the thing lights up now. See, that's why it's cool to go through these stages of development, because stuff that didn't make sense at first, now you know what they were going for. Like, what was that big box in the background? Oh, it was supposed to be a checkpoint. Otherwise, level design still pretty much the same. It's just way more polished and representative of a final product. Let's see one more. I can't skip levels. I can't skip levels. This is ready to ship.
Let's
Ship
go.
them out. Let's do it.
Go.
Make that gold master disc.
So, unfortunately, it wasn't Dido. It was Sinead O'Connor, which
Oh,
that's fine.
even more appropriate for Rugrats.
I'm just thinking about, I wish it was Dido. Let's do this. Let's get Dido on the horn and entirely redo the soundtrack to Rugrats in Paris. We
Let's
can
do
afford the
that.
licenses, right?
Well, there you go. SpongeBob SquarePants SuperSponge. That's the title, right? That's how it went from May to September 2001. It was a pretty good 6 months of development. Well, just in the overview. I have no idea what the company culture was like at the time.
I'm assuming they were very tired.
I hope it was good. I hope people didn't wear themselves out too much from making SpongeBob SuperSponge.
Oh yeah, game devs are just sitting around playing, tightening up the graphics, easy life.
And it doesn't look like I can beat this level, so we should wrap this up. Yeah, there you go. A full game from alpha to gold build. It was a very memorable day when they finally wrapped up development of SpongeBob SuperSponge. It took them from May to June to July, August, and then finally, a master build was created on September 11th, 2001.
Cool.
Thanks for watching!
Alright, show's over. Show's fucking over.
What a time.
What a time.